I'm Rick Edwards. I'm the Acting Chief of Police for the City of Richmond. Today at 12:02 hours, we responded to George Wythe High School for a report of shots fired. Within 1 minute, one of our officers from 3rd Precinct arrived on scene. 3 minutes later, he found a juvenile male right behind me in the parking lot suffering from a gunshot wound. That juvenile male was transported to a local hospital with what are considered life-threatening wounds. While we're at this scene working this case, a second juvenile male self-transported to another local hospital, suffering with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. We believe both are students here at George Wythe. And at this point, we have detectives on scene with us. We have our partners with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the U.S. Marshals, and the Chesterfield County Police Department, along with our partners at Richmond Public Schools Security, working this case actively right now. We're talking with witnesses. We're interviewing subjects. We are reviewing camera footage, and we are trying to get to the bottom of what happened today. So I'm happy to answer any questions I can at this point, but please know we're in the early stages of this investigation, and it's a very active scene.
Has anyone been apprehended?
Not at this point.
Do we know, I know you guys are still reviewing footage, but do we know kind of the early premise of what led up to this?
No, we know that no one was in the school at the time. All of the shooting took place in the parking lot at this point, but at this point we don't have a motive as to the shooting.
You said it took place in the parking lot, not the woods?
The victim was found in the woods, but we believe that the actual shooting took place in the lot behind me.
Just an update on the current state of the students inside the building and what's happening inside the school right now.
I can let Superintendent Camera speak to that.
Thank you, Jason Cameron, Superintendent, Richmond Public Schools. First, let me just say our thoughts, our prayers, our hearts are with the families of the victims this afternoon, and we are praying for their recovery, in particular the young man who sustained the most serious injury. As for the current status of the school, we are still under what's called a lock and teach, which means no movement in the building, but normal teaching operations continue. We've provided lunch to the students by bringing meals to each of the classrooms. We are planning to have a regular dismissal at 4 p.m., which is our normal time. However, we know some parents, of course, would like to pick up their students, and so we are asking any families who would like to do that to come to the Midlothian side of the football field, where if they bring an ID, we can retrieve their student, bring them out, and they can take them home.
Is the suspect believed to be a student?
At this point, we don't know, so we're unclear on who the suspect is at this point.
Is this believed to be like an active threat to the community or the school?
Well, it took place, several hours ago now, so I think at this point I wouldn't consider it that. We are still, the suspects are still at large, so obviously that's still concerning for us, but we don't believe that there's any more threat to any other schools at this time.
And do you believe it's one suspect or multiple?
We believe multiple.
But there's no number specific, just multiple?
Well, only one shooter, but other people involved that we're looking for.
We did see in the front of the school what appeared to be younger people in handcuffs. Is that related to what happened here?
Yes, that's part of the investigation right now. We don't know if those young individuals were directly involved in this at all, but they're speaking with investigators right now to try to determine what they know about this incident.
You guys were called around noon. I don't know the specific school schedule, but is there any idea that students were inside the building before this happened or never entered the building at all? Anything about the timeline of their location?
Yeah, I can say that they are students. I'm not sure if they went to school this morning or if they were inside and came out during lunch.
Could this at all be related to the triple shooting last night?
No, I don't see, no. Okay, as we get more information, we'll be sure to share that with you through our PIO's office. If we make some progress, I will be sending that information out. We may do another stand-up.
One more question. What security footage are you guys reviewing from the schools, from the apartment? Can you talk about that?
Sure, there's cameras, on the school itself. There's cameras in local businesses. We even have cameras on certain buses. So all of that's being reviewed at this time in hopes that we can identify the perpetrators.
And just to clarify, you said there's no indication that the students left the building before the shooting happened?
Well, it's possible they did, but it's also possible that while they are students that they never went to school. That's part of the investigation right now. Again, we're still in the early stages. We'll be drilling down on the timeline as we go forward. It's a very active scene. Our detectives are running in 1,000 miles an hour right now trying to find leads, and we'll have more on that soon, I'm sure.
Mr. Cameras, can I ask, is there a message that you want to give out to the public or community members concerned, obviously, about an act of violence happening right outside the school here?
Well, my most important message is, as superintendent and as a father of RPS kids and myself, we take the safety and security of our kids and our staff as our most solemn obligation. We will continue to do everything we possibly can to safeguard them and their families. My ask of the community, though, is to help us. We need the entire village, all of Richmond, to support us. The amount of gun violence in the city has just got to stop. And so we're asking for everybody to pitch in on that effort. There are too many guns in the city, and they're being used too often.
Oh, I also have a question for you. So obviously, and George Wythe, for example, has metal detectors inside the building. Are there security measures outside, whether it's in the parking lot, at all ever that help monitor, prevent? It's hard to prevent things happening in the parking lot, of course, out in the public. But are there security measures that George Wythe takes that?
Well, we have external cameras, and there are some other things that we do, but I prefer not to share them publicly.
Is there a school resource officer at this school?
Yes.
I know River City Middle was put on lock and teach. What other precautions were taken at local schools?
A number of schools in the area, a couple of elementaries, River City went to lock and teach just given the concern in the community. Those have all, I believe, now been lifted, and all of those schools will dismiss on a regular schedule.
Do you know how many rounds were fired?
Yes, but we're not going to release those details at this point. The reason being is when we're still talking to witnesses, we want to be able to verify the veracity of their information. So those kind of details are we got to kind of hold for now.
How long are you all going to be out at the scene for?
I can imagine another hour or so at least. And like I said, we're still canvassing the neighborhood, still looking for those sources. And I would just, echo what Superintendent Cameras says. We need the help of the community on all of our cases, not just this one. We are getting tips from the public already. People are providing us with helpful information, and we just want to encourage them to continue to do so in this case. These are very young people in the prime of their lives, and being shot on school is very concerning for us. So.
Real quick, I apologize if I'm making you repeat yourself, but in terms of witnesses, was there a good amount of students outside that you know about during this, or was it more smaller group?
But that's another thing that I'm not prepared to discuss right now, but we will certainly have more information as the day goes on.
We sometimes hear about social media threats. Was there anything like that made towards George Wythe prior to this?
Not that I'm aware of, and I don't believe it's that type of incident.
And the SRO that's assigned here to respond to this scene, and
Yes, we had two, and they were both present on scene and very helpful in the investigation. Our SROs know these kids, know them well, and are able to really help in the investigation. So they're going from a protective status here to being part of the criminal investigation right now. So we're utilizing their knowledge base actively. Okay, if that's all, I appreciate everyone's patience with us, and we will have more information to share soon. Thank you.